In this video, I'm going to show you how to fix a tight psoas muscle in 30 seconds. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Dr. Rowe coming to you from SpineCare in St. Joseph, Michigan. In this video, I want to go over a big overlooked cause of lower back pain, which are tight hip flexors, notably that psoas muscle. A tight psoas tends to cause pain in the front part of the leg, towards the groin and lower back. It's a very deep muscle, so you can't really massage it out. So to get quick pain relief, you have to focus on two separate things: mobility exercises to loosen and activate those muscles, and then building strength to hopefully get rid of that tightness for good. I'm going to break this video up into two separate parts to address that. Go through both parts if you're looking to get the best results and take what works best for you. As a bonus, all of these exercises, they're very easy to do. You can do them at home, and you may find they'll help release a tight psoas even in as little as 30 seconds. So let's get started and fix that tight psoas right now. In this part, let's focus on fixing a tight psoas muscle by activating it with some great mobility exercises. This first exercise is known as a Psoas Cobra. What I'm going to do is lie on my stomach right next to a door or a wall. What you want to do is bend your knees at 90 degrees and put your feet and legs flat against that wall. When you do this, I'm also going to prop myself up on my elbows, kind of like in a triangular position with my forearms, and tuck my chin towards my chest. This is known as a press-up stretch, and you should feel a deep stretch into the front part of the legs, those hip flexors engaging, and also into the lower back. You want to try to hold this one comfortably for about 20 to 30 seconds. When you need a breather, you can just lower your chest down like this. But I try to do it for about 3 to 5 repetitions. And if this becomes too easy, what you can do is then go into a full cobra. So put your hands off to your side, and you're going to keep your hips flat during this, so you don't want to lift them up like this. So you're going to keep the hips flat and then press up with your arms as much as you can. And this becomes a deep stretch. I pretty much feel it from my lower back into my pelvis, hips, into those hip flexors. Again, 20 to 30 second holds. You can relax, take a breather, and then try to repeat this one up to 5 times. And with each repetition, try to stretch into it just a little bit more. This is how we're going to take it to the next level and really hit that psoas muscle. So let's go back into our press-up stretch position, but I'm going to take one leg off like this and put it flat on the floor. You want your ankle, knee flat, and what you're going to do is take this knee and drive it upwards as much as you can. Whatever side is bent, you're going to feel a deep stretch into the psoas muscle on the other side. It's really targeting that left side right now. Again, 20 to 30 second hold. When you need a breather, just slide your leg back down like this. But on the next repetition, try to bring that knee up even further. Do this one for about 3 to 5 repetitions, and when you're done on one side, switch to the other to keep them both in balance. So here's one of my favorite psoas mobility exercises. It's known as the couch stretch because we're going to be using a couch. So let's start in this position. I'm going to go into a lunge stance where one knee is in front of me, bent at 90 degrees. The other knee is going to be bent. Let's put a pillow or towel underneath it for extra comfort. The back of the foot is going to go right up here on the couch. In this stance, you should already feel a deep stretch in the front part of the leg going into the hip flexors, into that psoas muscle. This is how we're going to really target it. Have very good upright posture. Take your hands, put them on your hips, and what you're going to do is lunge forward with your body weight. The more that you lunge forward, the more that you're going to feel a deep stretch off to that side. Really focus on feeling it into the hip flexors. Once we hit that point, let's hold this for about 20 to 30 seconds. Just do nice, slow, controlled breathing. Also, let that tension out. From there, I just relax, and then I'm going to repeat this 3 to 5 times. With each repetition, try to stretch into it just a little bit more. This is how we're going to take it to the next level and really target that psoas and a couple more muscles in the lower back. Let's go back into that lunge position, but I'm going to put my arms in front of me this time, kind of like a genie. What I'm going to do is turn my whole back and just twist it off to the side of the bent knee. In this position, you're going to feel a deep stretch. It hits the muscles just a little bit differently. Again, you want to hold this one for 20 to 30 seconds. You're just going to relax from there, take a breather, and then repeat this one up to 3 to 5 times. From there, I experiment by going on the other side too. It'll just hit it a little bit differently. So go towards the side, go away from the side. If one feels like it targets the psoas just a little bit better, throw some more repetitions in at that point. You can also do this one. So let's get back into that original stance of leaning forward, but this time around, I'm going to have very good upright posture, and I'm going to place one hand above my head like this, the side of the bent knee, and then I'm going to bend away from that bent knee side. So this really opens up off to the side. It targets a muscle called the QL or quadratus lumborum, a big instigator of back pain, and you're going to feel a deep stretch into those hip flexors. Again, try to hold this one for 20 to 30 seconds. You can relax, take a breather, and give this one a try for 3 to 5 repetitions. But go through all of those motions. If one targets it a little bit better, throw more repetitions in at that point. In this part, we're going to focus on the best ways to get rid of iliopsoas muscle tightness and pain, which is by strengthening the hip flexors. This first exercise is known as a knee raiser. Really easy to do. You can pretty much do it anywhere. At home, at work, we just need a flat elevated surface. I'm going to be using the WWE Wrestler Special, a folding chair, but you can also do this one on a staircase. I would recommend doing it next to a wall too. That way you can grab onto it for balance issues. So let's start by bringing one leg up and placing our foot on that elevated surface. We want our hip and knee pretty much in a nice straight line, knee bent at 90 degrees. From here, I'm going to take my hands, place them on my hips just like this. We want very good upright posture, engage the core muscles too for a little bit more support and stability. So the movement is very easy. What I'm going to try to do is drive my knee right here above hip level. The more that we take the knee up, the more it's going to engage the hip flexors, including that psoas muscle. So really focus on feeling it into those hip flexors. Hold this position comfortably for about 5 seconds. From there, you're just going to relax, take a breather. On the next repetition, try to drive that knee up even more. Really challenge those muscles. You want to do this one nice and slowly for about 10 to 15 repetitions. From there, take a breather. If you feel like you have more energy, do another set or 2. But whatever you do on one side, make sure that you do it on the other to keep them both in balance. This exercise is called the hip lunge slider. It's really going to help build strength and stability in and across the hips and really focus on that psoas muscle. We just need something that is going to slide on the floor. So if you have carpeted floors, you can use something like a paper plate, a piece of cardboard, or a furniture mover like I'm using. If you have hardwood floors, you can use a towel or just thick socks. So let's place one foot over that slider. What I'm going to do is have very good upright posture. I'm going to take my hands, put them in a prayer position, and press into each other to engage the core. It's really important to engage the core during this exercise because it will help build a little bit more support and stability. From there, I'm just going to go into a lunge position. So one knee is going to be bent in front of me while the other one slowly gets bent behind me. The key is we're going to try to bring this leg back as much as possible to feel a deep stretch into those hip flexors and also taking the toes on the back leg and driving it down for support. So keep going back as far as you can until your knee is hovering right above the ground. Hold this position for about a second, again focusing on engaging those hip muscles and those hip flexors, and then slowly come back up just like this. It should take you about 5 seconds to do a complete repetition, but I try to do this one nice and slowly for about 10 to 15 repetitions, building into each repetition just a little bit more to challenge those hip flexors and that psoas muscle. But afterwards, take a breather. If you feel like you have a little bit more left in you, you can do another set or 2. Whatever you do on one side, always switch to the other to keep them both in balance. So a big overlooked cause of hip flexor and iliopsoas muscle tightness and pain is because of a glute problem. The glute and the buttocks are opposers of the hip flexors. So as one activates and strengthens, it allows the other to really release and relax. So I'm going to take one of my favorite glute exercises, the glute bridge, and modify it so we can get our butt in shape. Lie flat on your back just like this. I'm going to keep my knees bent, my feet flat. My hands are going to go right on my hips. The first movement is very easy. What we're doing is driving the butt up towards the ceiling until we have a nice straight line from our knees to our hips to our shoulders. If you're unable to get to that point, do the best you can. Over time, you'll notice that you have more strength and flexibility to get into this position. But in this position, you should feel the core muscles activate, lower back, the glute buttocks, and the legs. It's a wonderful exercise. I try to hold this one for about 5 seconds. From there, I just relax, take a breather, and then repeat this one slowly for about 10 to 15 repetitions. Let's take this one to the next level and focus a little bit more on the hip flexors. So let's keep one knee bent, and then I'm going to get the other leg straight at the knee, just like this. We're going to put our hands on our hips and then slowly raise that straight leg upwards towards the ceiling as much as we can. You'll feel the back of the leg, the hamstrings go into the glutes. Those will activate. You'll also feel the hip flexors in the front of the leg activate. Really focus on that. Hold this position for about 5 seconds. You're just going to come back down, relax, take a breather. On the next repetition, try to go into it just a little bit more. Do this one for 10 to 15 repetitions and then just switch to the other side and repeat. So here's how we're going to really take it to the next level by putting both of those movements together and hitting both the glutes and the hip flexors. Let's keep one knee bent, the other one's going to go straight. We're going to bring this one up again like this, but this time around we're going to do that glute bridge. So we're going to try to bring that up. This causes a lot to activate. You'll feel it pretty much from the legs all the way down into the lower back. Hold this one comfortably for about 3 to 5 seconds. You're just going to relax, take a breather, and then repeat this one. Again, try to stretch into it just a little bit more to challenge those muscles. But I try to do this one for about 10 to 15 repetitions on both sides. And if you feel like you have just a little bit more, you can do another set or two to challenge those muscles even further. If the exercise has helped you, please support us by giving this video a like and maybe subscribing to the channel too. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.